Amidst the lushful forests, teeming with vibrant flora and fauna, there emerges a poignant reminder of our responsibility to safeguard this delicate harmony. For lurking on the horizon is the ominous threat of environmental pollution. So, hi dear students, this video is about environmental pollution, prescribed as Unit 3 of your ECOSCAPES text. So, first let us get introduced to the phenomenon called environmental pollution. So, hey, curious minds, have you ever stopped to think about the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the world around you? Welcome to our journey through the world of environmental pollution. In today's video, we are diving into the topic of environmental pollution, what it is, how it happens, and why it's important for all of us, especially students like you, to understand. Because as young learners, you are the future custodians of our planet. You have to understand the challenges of our environment and our planet, because you all can make a positive impact. So, what is environmental pollution? Environmental pollution is the harmful addition of any solid, liquid, or gaseous substance or any form of energy like heat, sound, light, or radioactivity to the environment. That means environmental pollution happens when harmful substances enter the air, water, and land, affecting our health, wildlife, and ecosystems. And you see, understanding pollution is not just about knowing the problem, it's about taking action to create a cleaner, healthier world for ourselves and future generations. So, these harmful additions are called pollutants. Now, let's look closer at what is a pollutant. A pollutant is a substance or energy introduced into the environment that has harmful or undesirable effects on the ecosystem, human health, or well being. That means pollutants are things like smoke, chemicals, or waste that come from cars, factories, and other places. They can go into the air, water, or soil and make them dirty or polluted or contaminated. And these pollutants can be bad for animals, plants, and humans too. They can make the air harder to breathe. The water gets yucky to drink, and the land becomes not good for growing plants. And you see, these pollutants can come from various sources, including vehicles, agriculture, natural sources, industrial process, etc. And they can be in the form of solid particles, liquids, gases, or even energy. And pollutants can have short term or long term impact, ranging from immediate health problems to gradual degradation of ecosystems over time. Pollutants are either natural or man made. And from an ecological point of view, from an ecological perspective, pollutants are classified into three categories: degradable, slowly degradable, and non degradable. The first one, degradable pollutants. These are substances that can break down or decompose naturally over time, which means they won't stick around in the environment for a very long time. We can have many examples of degradable pollutants. One is organic waste like food waste, food scraps, paper, yard waste, etc. You can also have natural materials like cotton, wool, silk. All these can degrade over time because they are made from organic matter. There are also biodegradable plastics. Not all are biodegradable plastics, but some types of plastics are designed to break down more easily compared to the traditional plastics. Then there are some plant-based oils. Oils from plants like sunflower, soya bean, and corn can be broken down by bacteria and microorganisms. Then natural rubber. Rubber made from natural sources like latex from rubber trees can break down over time due to exposure to light and microbial activity. So these are some examples of degradable pollutants. The second type is slowly degradable pollutants. And these are substances that take a long time to break down naturally in the environment. And unlike the degradable pollutants, these substances can persist for many years, causing potential harm over an extended period. What are examples of slowly degradable pollutants? See, traditional plastics, such as those used in packing bottles, various products, all these take hundreds of years to fully decompose. They break down into smaller plastic particles called microplastics, which can have adverse effects on ecosystems and living beings. Another example of slowly degradable pollutants are nylon. Nylon is a synthetic fiber used in textiles. It is also used for fishing nets and other products. It can take decades to break down due to its complex chemical structure. Then we have cigarette butts. Filters are made up of a type of plastic called cellulose acetate and can take many years to degrade, and it poses a threat to water bodies and wildlife. Then we have heavy metals like lead, cadmium. All this can persist in the environment for a long time and accumulate in soil and water, causing pollution. Another example is white glass or simply glass, which will take thousands of years due to its durability. And third, we have non-degradable pollutants. They are also known as persistent pollutants, and they are substances that do not break down naturally in the environment. These pollutants can remain in the environment for many years, for decades, or even centuries, causing long term harm to ecosystems, wildlife, and human health. Let's look at some examples. One is mercury. Hg is the chemical formula of mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that doesn't break down easily and can accumulate in water bodies and the food chain, leading to serious health problems for both humans and animals. Then you have this plutonium. Plutonium is a radioactive element used in nuclear reactors and weapons. It has a very long life, which means it remains hazardous for thousands of years. Similarly, we have radioactive waste or nuclear waste produced from nuclear power plants and other nuclear process. It also remains hazardous for thousands of years, and all this requires special disposable methods. Then you have many synthetic chemicals, inorganic chemicals, which come under non-degradable pollutants. So, proper disposal and handling of these pollutants are crucial to minimize their impact on ecosystems. So, these pollutants make a number of pollution. So, we have different types of pollution. Prominently, air pollution, land pollution, and water pollution. Let's look at each of them. Air pollution refers to the presence of harmful substances and pollutants in the air that can cause adverse effects on human health, animals, plants, and the overall environment. These pollutants can include gases, particulate matter, chemicals, and biological materials that are released into the atmosphere from sources such as vehicles, factories, power plants, and natural process. So basically, air pollution is when the air around us becomes dirty or unhealthy because of harmful things that are released into it, like smoke, chemicals, or other tiny particles. They can make the air less safe to breathe, and it can cause problems for people's health and the environment. Air pollution can lead to serious health issues like respiratory problems, cardiovascular diseases, and even premature death. It also contributes to environmental problems like smog, acid rain, and climate change. Next, we have water pollution. Water pollution refers to the contamination of water bodies such as rivers, lakes, oceans, and groundwater by harmful substances and pollutants. These pollutants can include chemicals, sewage, industrial waste, oil, plastics, and other materials that are released into water sources through human activities and natural process. Water pollution can have serious negative effects on aquatic life, ecosystems, and human health. It can make water unsafe for drinking, swimming, and supporting plant and animal life. Efforts to prevent water pollution involve proper waste disposal, water treatment, and regulations to limit the release of harmful substances into water bodies. And next, we have land pollution. Land pollution refers to the degradation or contamination of the Earth's land surfaces through various human activities and natural process, resulting in negative impacts on the environment, ecosystem, and human health. This pollution can involve the deposition of hazardous materials, waste, and pollutants onto the land, causing it to become unhealthy and less suitable for its intended uses. Examples of land pollution include the improper disposal of waste, chemicals, plastics, industrial byproducts, and the accumulation of litter. These pollutants can seep into the soil, potentially contaminating groundwater and affecting plant growth. Land pollution can lead to soil degradation, loss of biodiversity, and disruption of ecosystems. Apart from this, there are other forms of pollution as well, like noise pollution, light pollution, thermal pollution, radioactive pollution, and plastic pollution. Noise pollution refers to the presence of undesirable levels of sound that can be harmful to human life. Every day we listen to many normal sounds uh, that we hear in our surroundings, like conversations, footsteps, birds singing, and the hum of appliances. These sounds are usually at a comfortable volume and don't cause discomfort or harm to our ears or health. But noise pollution refers to that unwanted or harmful sound that disrupts the natural environment and affect human health and well-being. And it can be uh, felt inside factories or in urban centers with mass transportation facilities. You can also hear the air horn in some vehicles. So all this causes noise pollution. Just like that, we have light pollution, or the presence of too much artificial light that can cause or that can affect the rhythm of life on the planet. And you see, this too much of artificial light can produce a phenomenon called sky glow. And sky glow is the brightening of the night sky in overpopulated areas due to artificial light sources such as street lights and buildings. And it can make it difficult to see stars and other celestial objects from urban and suburban areas. So the night sky looks like a day sky. That is what you mean by sky glow. It's because of the increased usage of artificial lights. And the third is thermal pollution. Thermal pollution occurs when the temperature of natural water bodies, such as rivers, lakes, or oceans, increases due to human activities. And the change in temperature in these water bodies can harm aquatic life and disrupt the balance of the ecosystem. And it is often caused by industries or power plants releasing heated water into water sources. And this can lead to reduced oxygen levels and other negative effects on aquatic organisms. Now, the fourth type is radioactive pollution, and it is caused when harmful radioactive substances are released into the environment. And these substances emit radiation, which can be dangerous to living things. This pollution can happen from nuclear accidents, from improper disposal of new radioactive waste, or nuclear tests. It is a serious concern because it can cause health problems and damage the environment for a long time. And you know the two famous or infamous incidents that caused radioactive pollution? One was the atom bomb dropping at Hiroshima. The atom bomb was dropped in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945 during World War II. And it was a powerful and destructive bomb that caused a massive explosion. And it was dropped by the United States to try to end the war with Japan. The bomb killed many people and caused widespread destruction in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This event was a turning point in history and led to Japan surrendering shortly afterward. Another incident was the Chernobyl disaster that happened on April 26, 1986. It was a huge accident at a nuclear power plant in Ukraine, which was part of the Soviet Union at the time. A reactor at the plant exploded, releasing a lot of dangerous radiation into the air. This happened because of mistakes made during a safety test. The disaster caused a lot of harm to people's health and the environment, and it's one of the worst nuclear accidents in history and led to changes in how people think about nuclear power and supply. And lastly, we have the plastic pollution, and it refers to the widespread presence of plastic waste in the environment, particularly in places like oceans, rivers, and land. It happens when plastic materials like bags, bottles, and packaging are discarded improperly and end up polluting natural areas. These plastics can take a very long time to break down and they harm ecosystems, wildlife, and even human health. Plastic pollution is a growing global problem that requires efforts to reduce plastic use, promote recycling, and find sustainable alternatives. And do you know about one very famous fact called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? It is a big area in the ocean where a lot of trash, mostly plastic, has gathered. And it's located in the Pacific Ocean. The trash collects there because of ocean currents. And it's a problem because it harms the marine life and the environment. The plastic breaks down into tiny pieces which can be eaten by fish and other animals, causing them to get sick. And the garbage patch exists because people around the world use a lot of plastic and don't always dispose of it properly. This pollution is a reminder that we need to be more careful with our plastic waste to protect our oceans. So, as we journey through the impacts of environmental pollution, one truth becomes crystal clear. The time for change is now. We have seen how pollution affects our air, water, and land, and how it disrupts the delicate balance of our planet. By making simple changes in our daily lives, like reducing plastic, conserving energy, and choosing sustainable options, we can shape a cleaner, greener future. And pollution control aims at reducing the release of contaminants into air, water, and land. And they employ the principle of the three R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle, which goes a long way in preventing environmental pollution. And these three R's can reverse the course of pollution, ensuring that our future generations can inherit a world rich in beauty, health, and abundance. So, dear students, remember, change begins with each one of us. Let's be the change we wish to see. Thank you.